My name's Dan Heinen. I'm the owner of Live to Dive Scuba Company in Eureka, California. I'm a NAUI instructor and have been in business for just under 2 years. Some of the places in the world outside of the United States that I've dove include the Bahamas, Curacao, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Hawaii, Nicaragua, Panama. Well, we've done a number of shark dives in the Bahamas, and I have pictures of a bull shark, a pregnant bull shark with her nose right up against my leg. So that was pretty exciting stuff. When we're looking for weather information, we typically will go online, and it depends on what resources are available in that area. Not going into specific sites, but the information that we're looking for are the size of the swells, the amount of time between the sets, what type of cloud cover do we have, because we always have better diving conditions with sunlight rather than overcast. Of course, is it going to be raining? Is it going to be windy? What is the speed of the wind or the rate of the wind, that sort of thing. The number one factor that most divers will talk about first is going to be visibility. Here on the North Coast, our visibility varies between no visibility and up to 10 to 12 feet, which is an epic day, compared to the Caribbean, where we can have 100 to 150 foot of visibility, and it's a beautiful thing. A couple of reasons. Number one, you want to make sure you can stay in visual contact with the buddy that you're diving with. We never encourage people to dive alone. So staying in contact visually is hugely important. So if you or your buddy get into trouble, you can help the other person out. The other thing is, we'd like to see all the cool stuff of the ocean, like to take pictures, and so photography needs good visibility. The first thing we like to look at is what the tidal exchange is going to be, especially if you're close in, like here on the North Coast. Knowing if there's going to be a 9-foot tidal change between high and low tide definitely contributes to the way the bottom gets churned up and how our visibility will be impacted. When we're looking at other factors that would cause it, then certainly the size of the waves, the amount of wind, and of course, is it sunny or is it overcast, all play a role in the visibility as well. My ideal wind conditions would definitely be flat with no wind. As a dive instructor, that is critical for us to make sure that we have fairly calm conditions for our students when we're first taking them out into the ocean. When we go on a daytime dive trip, the very first thing that I always do is show up to the dive site at least an hour and a half to 2 hours early, so that I can watch the ocean to see what she's doing that particular day. Because no matter how much data or information you have, she can do a lot of different things, and I've learned that. When we're out on dive sites, when we're in, say, the north coast of California, for example, we have very limited internet access. We have trouble using our smartphones on the dive site, so we're really limited to what we can see and feel is going on. When we get into different areas, say the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean and that sort of thing, typically we dive on boats rather than off the shore. And we do have access to maritime technology, radios, and even internet access at times. Typically when we're on a boat and are monitoring weather information, we have the radio on all the time with the marine forecasts that are constantly repeating themselves and being updated. One of the things that I did was checked with my fellow divers out in the world to see if there was any suggestions for NOAA from a diver's point of view. If you could please leave yesterday's information up today, because when I dove yesterday, I know pretty much what the conditions were when I was diving, how good the visibility was, what the surge was underwater. But today, I didn't keep the information from yesterday, so when I go and dive today and it's different, I can compare the 2 days by looking at what the size of the swells were, what the time was between the swells, what the conditions were, that sort of thing. So that's our suggestion to NOAA.